obviously you told me when you were in school, you realized that you could really do this consulting, and even just in having the conversation, you're definitely a people person. I can tell you talk to people every day. But are you more excited or passionate about the tech part of it or the people part of it? Like, or is it, is there one or the other that makes you like wake up in the morning, you're like, I'm edge tech, or is it, I'm going to talk to a lot of people about technology today?
Yeah, it's strange because I have my days when that sometimes don't get me wrong, the tech is great, but for me the tech is always going to evolve and the tech's always going to change. But at the core of that are the people that make these transformations or make these changes. So at the heart of it, the people are always the most important things. The tech will will change, it will come and go, but I really just think yeah, I guess I've never really thought of it that way, but yeah, I guess I'm it is people. That is the thing. And it could be any tech, but clearly we are passionate about about automation and about where that's heading towards artificial intelligence and other things like that. But yeah, I think at the heart of it, it's the people that drive that.
So I guess I took a risk by asking you the question, but I kind of had a feeling I knew how you were going to answer anyways. And I feel like there's this stigma out there by some people that they think anybody that's excited about technology don't care about people because we don't care to take their jobs or whatever. So, there was a little bit of a self-serving reason I asked that question, because I believe every person I talk to that's passionate about technology does it for people. And it's, people just don't understand it. It's still a way to talk and help people and get people into exciting jobs that are cutting edge, jobs, and they don't feel like it's a mundane task anymore.
Yeah.
So we all have people in our lives that we look back as mentors. So and I'm always interested in hearing whose people's mentors are. And I could tell by the original question when I asked about your background and you brought up your parents. And for me, my parents were a mentor for me, but, outside people, that you've worked with or alongside that have kind of gotten you to the professional you are today.
Yeah, definitely. So there's a few, kind of going back before sort of outside people. I would also say that even my younger brother, he is possibly I'd say he's the hardest working person that I know, hands down. And I like to work hard, and I know a lot of hardworking people, but he is in a way a mentor in that sense. And he works in tech, but yeah, he's definitely one. But I would say sort of outside of work, one of the first people was probably the person that hired me into my first recruitment role, because he basically he put me on the scene, gave me the opportunity, and he also was passionate about automation and knew he seemed to know where the technology was going to go, and he knew that there was an opportunity there and pushed me down that route. So I think if it weren't for him, he obviously taught me a lot, because it was my first job in recruitment, and I was learning the ropes and learned a lot from him. I think beyond that, we've got 2 investors in edge tech, fairly recently over the past year or so, and since they've joined us, the amount that they've kind of mentored us, not only from a business perspective, but kind of outside of that as a person, and how to handle things when you are running a business and when you're a business owner, they've added immense value. So yeah, there's a few different people, and I think you always find that at different stages in your life you have different mentors through different stages. So yeah, I think we're kind of there now. But yeah, those are the ones that have kind of impacted me the most, I'd say.
Yeah, well, and in a weird way, it doesn't surprise me that you bring up investors. I'm at a stage in the company where there's people coming saying, hey, can we invest in the company? And sometimes I'll tell friends or other small business owners that I'm thinking about that venture, and they're like, just go to a bank, man, just get a loan. And I'm like, investors are more than just some money. They want their investment to succeed also, and they're going to give a lot of input, and you're going to learn a lot from those people to help scale your business. And it sounds like you found the right people, and congratulations for that. Because the selection process, is kind of like picking a wife or something. You know what I'm saying? You want to make sure it's somebody you're going to get along with before you give them the key to the checkbook. So yeah, so that's awesome. So you're obviously a pretty young guy, but you're an industry leader. So do you have advice you would give to people that are in college right now doing what you were doing, that want to get into this, like anything you want to say to those types of people that are listening?
Yeah. And because I am, I'm not old. I've got, I'm 30 years old. So I'm still, I'm still young. And I know I am. But yeah, I mean, the advice that I would give is, it's probably, I mean, it's quite tricky, because clearly I could give advice around, sort of technologies or business and things like this. But I think one of the main pieces of advice that I would give is, if there is an opportunity for you to do something while you're young, to just go ahead and do it, and then worry about what's going to happen later and figure it out. Because, opportunities, even when you're young, you kind of think this opportunity will come around again, or there'll be another opportunity like this, or something will happen. But from experience, and I mean, we set up the business a few years ago, but we did it while we were still young. We did it while we could, and I don't regret doing that. But there are probably other opportunities that I can't really remember of, but I'm sure that there are some that I've given up in the past where it could have changed things for the better. So yeah, I would probably just say, find something that you're passionate about, and just go for it, and just, do it 100%, go all out, explore it, take the opportunity. And if it doesn't work out, then it doesn't matter.